0 for groups, others for ungiven. Now go to user A, try to run again file 1. So this time able to add a content. Clear now till here? How to give a permissions to specific user and all. So if you want to give any permissions to your user, anything, you should create a file into temp directory, not your home directories. Temp directory only other users can access. Okay, just I'm discussing a commands only. Maybe this area you may not get chance to work on this area. Linux developers only will work. So just try to understand the commands only. Yeah, you can give like that also. Already explained right at the time. Second class I think. So we can give numeric values. You can give alphabets also. Okay. Noah. I don't know. Okay. So let's move to now. One more command here. For example, now I want to add my user into my group. So root group. In this case, the command is user mod. Yeah, I will show one more. See, nothing is there. You just connect. Here you can give the username only and connect only. So instead of EC to user, you can give user 1, user A or user B, whatever user you created. That's it only. Even password also not required in the console level. Okay. So I'm going to add now user A into root group. So this is the command how to add into the groups. So user mod -a g and give the user root and user. That means here user is going to be added to the root group. Permission denied. Why? So I'm trying to add, I'm in the user A, I'm trying to add into root group. So I don't have permission to add me into the myself itself into root group, right? So this activity will perform by root only. User mod root user A. Clear now? So now to verify this, we have a one more command. You can give simply id root or id user, so that we can check group level, you are adding into group or not. For example, id root. See, root is not participating into any groups. Understand, root is not participating into any other groups, but id user A, but user A participating into root group. Understand the difference here. So don't confuse here. Many of you guys may confuse here. Root user mod -ag root user A means user A is adding into the root group. Root is not adding into user A group. Okay, that's what. See, user level I can see user ID is there, separate group ID is there. Here it's a number only. It will increase. If you add one more user, 1004 will come. It's a series number only. Okay, let's see here. User A separate group is there and also participating in the root group. I mean guys, if you create any user, let me show you. User add, I'm creating one more user, user B. Okay, ID user B to check. Okay, ID user B. See 1004. So whenever you can create a user, group will be created, user ID will be created, group ID will be created. This is a default behavior. So ID command is what? To check my user ID, group ID, my user is participating into any other group. To check easily ID command. So then can we user numeric value instead of actual username? No, it's not like that. We have to give user only. Okay, not numeric value. Okay, so anyway, now for example, guys, this is not IAM concept. Please don't confuse. I'm inside the EC2 server. This is Linux activities, not IAM activities. See, let me show you. Okay, so my end, multiple services are there in AWS. Okay, in this case, you need a one security services like IAM to control all the services. So IAM is AWS related service. Okay, now if you create any server, Amazon server, Azure server, GCP server, local server, any server, for example EC2, once you log in EC2, only IAM responsibility for what? Once you are outside of the service only. Once you inside of the EC2 na, you are talking about Linux operating system here. So IAM is not responsible. If you want to create a user, it's a Linux user, not IAM user. This Linux user is responsible for this server level only. For example, okay, I want to give this Linux server permission to someone. So, okay, what you know, create a keys or sorry, your PEM file you can share to your friend. Your friend can log in. Your friend also can log in this server as a root user for this server. So you can share the PEM file, but your friend don't want to log in as a, you don't want to give access, root user access to your friend. Then your friend log in as a user only. In this case, what you can do, create a one user inside for Linux and share to your friend. You can log in this server. Your friend having only this Linux user level permission only, not admin level permissions. So this is not related to IAM. This is related to Linux operating system behavior. IAM means who can access this server. Server level. Once you enter into the server, it's a server level inbuilt activities. Okay, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, this is not IAM, guys. Don't worry. Okay, IAM is, it's a central service to configure a multiple AWS services. Linux user is related to, even guys, this is my Windows laptop. Here also I can create a user. It's a Windows user to give us some, for example, I want to give my laptop inside specific directory permission only. So create a user, give a specific directory permission, so that person can log in as in their laptop, they can able to see your folder only. Like that the meaning is here. Okay. Yeah, so correct, Srini. While we are using console connect method, password is not required. Directly we can give IP and username only we can connect, right? Even console, if I'm creating a Linux server, Amazon Linux server, I'm not giving even PEM file also. Creating a server without PEM file. That meaning is what? The password is not required while connecting Cloud Connect option. Why? You are already logged in as a AWS user. That means you are already having a full permissions for enter AWS account. So you can log in anything, you can delete anything. So if you want to give this server permission, instead of sharing a cloud credentials, you can give public IP PEM file. So they're able to log in. Okay, I'll explain that concept also. Wait. So this is process will connect through Cloud Connect, either user, either root. How to connect from the local also I'll explain, user level. Okay. Yeah. You will get a clarity in just 15 minutes, guys. Just wait. Focus may divert here. Clear na how to create user and check the permissions? So we have a one more command cat etc passwd. If you can give this command also, you can check how many users created, user 1, user 2, user A, user B, EC2 user, somewhere root user also there. So these are the permissions and all. Okay, you can check here. But here we can see by using this command cat etc passwd. This command shows only users list of users only. If you want to check a groups, cat etc group, you can see list of groups here. Understand? Yeah, cat etc group. Shows list of groups. Whenever you can create group, automatically create. Okay, we no need to create, but just our activity only add one user into this group, remove user into this group, like that only we can do activity. So I'm inside of the root. If I give id user a, id user a, yeah, so see here, now user a part of root group also. In this case, let's say go to cd temp directory now. So file 1 is there na. So this time you can verify as a group. Okay, group level permissions. Let's see now. Chmod ls-l. So permissions group level, yeah, group level completely nil. What each level? I'm not getting, Mahesh. So each level means what? Can you explain once? Each level means permissions 7 and all. You're talking about this one. You're talking about this field one. Okay. Which one? This one you're talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? See, okay, I'll give user A. You will get a clarity. User A, this is user ID. Whenever you can create a user, automatically user ID will be updated. One ID will be updated for user. Irrespective of group ID also will be updated. And it will show here number of groups. This user is participating into which groups. It will show. For example, I'm going to create one more user. See, user add, user C. Okay, if I want to check my complete user C details, ID user C. See, 1005 incremental is increasing count. User ID is what? 1005. Group ID is what? 1005. User C is participating into another groups? No, only user C group only. If user C, if I add, for example, user mod, if I add user B, user C, that means user C is going to be participate into user B also. Now you can check ID user C. See, whenever I can add user C into user B, I can see user C group is there, plus user C is participating into user B group also. Clear now? Okay, no problem. Perfect. Okay, let's check now ls-l. So file 1. So file 1 group level permissions are what? Nil. So what I can do, I can remove others permission now. To test, why? I can give 760 file 1. So others permission completely removed. Okay. In this case, user B, user C, if you log in, user B, user C is others. But ID user A, if I can give, user A is root group also added, right? So root created file means root group level permissions now giving. So root is giving a permissions now, ls hyphen l. So till here user permissions, sorry, till here users permission, till here group permission, till here others permission for this file. Now group permissions are what? Read, write. Let's log in user A. User A is able to perform read or write or not, we can check. Go to temp directory. Okay, cat file 1. Permission denied. Okay, we can understand why permission is denied even user A part of root group. Okay, let's try one more time. You can connect. Sometimes we can see this issue. So I'm going to log in as a user A again. cd temp directory ls, yeah, file 1 is there, cat. See, sometimes cache issue is there. You are even if you update the permissions, you are unable to see something. See, group level permissions I'm able to use. That means what here? Understand carefully here what I'm trying to say. So root, user A, user B. So root created a one file name is file1. In the temp directory only you have to create. And who create a file is a user. Okay, it's user level permission. Now this group, for example, let me add a root and user A and user B. If I add user A into root permissions, root group. Now root, while giving a permissions chmod 740, for example, and file1. The meaning is 7 indicates who created a file permission, full permission. Others indicates not participating into root group. Here 4 indicates participating into root group. So in the root group user A is sharing, right? So these permissions, 4 permissions apply for group. Now if I log in user B and user C, how to log in again? Same process. My and user B already created, right? Let's click on here. User B. User B is not part of root group. So definitely user B applies others permissions only. Okay. User B is, let's go to temp directory quickly. ls. So file is there, cat file 1. See permission denied. Clear till here how this process will work? Users, groups, root. Anyone has any questions here? Anyone have any questions till here? At least guys, if you are unable to understand, also no problem. At least focus on the commands. If I want to create a user command, if I want to add a into group, which command? Simple logic I can say. For example, if you want to work with the Jenkins and the Docker, these are system users as I explained in the day 1 class. So if you are Docker, for example, if you want to run a Docker commands you can run by default root only. But even easy to user also want to run Docker commands, easy to user we can add into Docker group. Understand? So if I add easy to user into Docker group, easy to user also able to run Docker commands. Like that. If Jenkins user is there, Jenkins running a pipeline, Jenkins as a Jenkins user. So maybe Jenkins is trying to install any packages, there is no permissions because of Jenkins is not root user. In this case, you can add Jenkins into root user group so that you will get some privileges. su hyphen sudo su hyphen. Okay, let's go to user A, home directory, sudo su hyphen. Clear? So now if user A trying to log in as a root, not possible. User A, there is no permissions to access as a root. No permissions. Understand here? User A can log in as a user A. If user A able to log in root, what is the use here? User A can log in as a root by giving a sudo su command. User A can do anything, right? It's not possible. User A can log in as a user A. So strictly work like a user A only. Not possible to switch root. So whatever permissions now root is going to give, user A can perform. Simple logic, guys. Here I'm going to explain one more important concept. Now user A, for example, want to install something, install git or install, for example, some okay, install git hyphen y. See, not possible to install any packages. If I use a sudo asking user A password, give my password. See, user A is not in the sudo's file. That means user is not possible to use sudo commands. In this case, user A is not at all possible to install any packages inside this user by using this user inside this server. Clear till here? So user A, whatever permissions given by root, only user A can perform. Same like IAM concept is there, right? Same. Here also like that it will work. Yeah. So in this case, for example, I want to give sudo permissions to my users. So I want to give sudo permissions to my user A, so that user A also can run like a sudo In this case, what I can do, guys, I can definitely it can, git can use. In this case, what I can do, see, sudo m commands when we can use just to install time only, right? Yeah. So let's go to now how to give a git privileges to install to user A. That means how to give a sudo privileges to user A. In this case, so we have to go vi. For example, I'm saying va etc sudos. See, whenever you can open all, so whenever you can open, this is related to where, let's quit here. So this is related to user A. But if you do any changes now, for example, let's go. I want to add some change here. See, changing as a read only. Because of this process can do by only root only, not user A. If user itself can open and add a required content, user A can do anything. So that's what user A is not possible to do. But same action can do by root. Let's go to root now. Yeah, go to home directory, vi, so etc sudoers. Yeah, if you can see here, it's not read, you can write also. If you can see here, if I want to add my user A here for full permissions, you can add user A all equal to all, like login as any user. Okay, let me change here also. Plus here this all means any package can install. Okay, this is any user, this is any package. Okay, let's check now. WQ to save. Now go to user here. Now you can run by using sudo. I can use sudo now. So before I'm unable to use sudo, now I'm trying to install by using sudo install git-y. So asking password every time. If I add no password also, it won't ask. Okay, give my password already generated root, right? See, git installation done, already done. Clear till here? How to add your user into sudo's permissions? User not have the executive permission, that's why not able to install the git is right. No. Execute permission is different. Execute permission already I have explained right on the day 2. If you want to run any script, if you want to switch to a specific directory, only execute permission will work. Installation is not execute permission, not required. Okay, so by default, guys, please focus what I'm explaining. Maybe if you think many areas, you may confuse here. Okay, yeah. So understand one thing here. By default, if you create any user, just question to all. By default, if I create any user, user is able to run sudo commands by default? No. So your root create any user, by default sudo permissions are not possible to access until add a root inside sudo's file inside ec2. Sudo files inside user1, so that user can perform sudo, user can able to use sudo. Until that user cannot, not possible to use sudo permissions until add in the sudo's file. How to add a sudo's file? vi etc sudos. If you give this command, you are able to do anything. We can add user into sudo's file. Okay, so in this case, already document I have prepared. Let me show you here. You will get some clarity. Wait, I'll try to give. Yeah. So here, first all means commands the user is allowed to run. This all. Minstall git-y. Sorry, this one. This related to last one. Okay, this is moving just like this. Let me move like this. Yeah, this all regarding for this one. This one. All commands the user is allowed to run. Which command? Minstall git-y. Okay. Next, second all. Which user? Target user, any user, all users. Which host? Any host. So user 1, which user is going to be apply this? If you can give like this. For example, if I don't want to give any password, every time I'm asking password, right? Give no password only. Simply here no password. It won't ask any password. But now thing is, see here, for example, I want to give a specific permission only. Okay, I don't want to give complete access for my user. Go to vi sudo users. See here, I don't want to give full permissions to run my sudo's file. Insert. So what I'm going to do here, I can give only, for example, my user is only work with the tree. In this case, what you can do, so first give a no password, every time asking a password, and user can run only minstall tree-y command only. Even if you can give git, unable to run. Okay, specific specific package permission also we can give for the user instead of all permissions. Let's try this now. Okay, root executed, and let's go to user A. This is user B anyway, user A. So let's try to install git, sudo m install git -y. Sorry, no permissions. User A is not allowed to execute this command. Before is possible, now not possible. Before I have given all permissions, but now I have given only to install a tree command. Tree means we can see a well-structured folder inside the Linux only. It's a package. Let's try tree. See, able to install tree. Clear the difference? How to manage sudo permissions for the user? Sudo permissions are different. File permissions are different. File permissions are read, write, execute. Sudo permissions are inside activities by using sudo. When we can use the sudo to create a file, we have no need to use the sudo commands. Install any packages, okay, or open any sudo files. Only we can give the permissions. Sudo permissions are completely different. File permissions are completely different. Clear till here? So I have created a user. I have generated a password. So I have given a few files to do some activity, and also I have given sudo permissions also. Yeah, we can give multiple permissions also. Correct. We can give multiple permissions. So if you want to see here, this is user A. Okay, let's go to here. M install star. If you can give, for example, user is able to do by using M anything user can do. So I mean, instead of giving all means user can delete a file, user can create a file, user can open sudo file also to modifications. I don't want to give full sudo permissions. I want to give sudo to install only M commands. Also we can do like that. So you can add comma, and next git, comma, and next install wget. Like that you can do. Clear? Everyone now? Okay, Mahesh, your question is valid now. So then how EC2 user is allowing sudo's permissions? This is your question, right? I mean, let's log in as a EC2 user. How EC2 user is doing everything, right? This is your question, right? If I connect like a EC2 user, yeah, sudo. So here EC2 can able to use sudo permissions. For example, m install git -y. So EC2 user is not there in the sudo's files, but still EC2 user is able to running a sudo commands, right? This EC2 user is a default user. It's a added into cloud init user. Let me show you the path also so that you will get a clarity. So EC2 user path is different. It's a cloud init path. So this one, this is the path. Init users, these are. Whenever instance is creating time, comes under init users. Initializing user. That's what default time we need to use. Default time we need to use EC2-user only, default user. So no one created this user. Initializing time only user will create automatically. And so here, this is the path init users. We can check sudo's permissions. See, all permissions, no password also. Means whenever you can run sudo's commands, not require any password for EC2 users. If you remove this no password na, it will ask password also. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, is the user having a full permission? So I'm giving here. I mean, this is not a normal user, init user. Initializing time user will create automatically. So default time. Yeah, I will add, everything I'll add, don't worry. Okay, so this is sudo's story. I hope you guys are got a clarity on this. Okay. Let me show you quickly one thing here. Okay. For example, yeah. For example, if I want to, okay, so if I want to log in as a user and not through Cloud Connect, I can use to my Mobextem and all. For example, my user password I remembered already. I'll try to connect from Mobextem. Okay. Excuse me. So session SSH, take the public IP of the EC2. Okay, now no PEM file, right? I'm not using PEM file, I'm using a password. So in this case, my username I'm giving here, specific username, user A. So if I click on OK, it should ask a password. Accept. See, no support authentication. Password method is not supported here. That's what I'm unable to log in. By default, PEM file only set to log in as a. But Azure, it will support both PEM file, support base, password base also. In this case, if I want to allow in AWS EC2 server also to through password, we have to do some modifications inside the sudo's file. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, so here enable password method, yeah, vi sshd config. So we have to go inside, let inform to root. So allow password method also. Okay, let's see here. Password authentication is no by default. What we can do, make it as a S. This is SSH file. SSH file for authentications, login time. This will work. Empty, yeah, permit empty password. Yes, if you can give, directly able to access without password also. Okay, after that you need to, you can read if required. After, oh sorry, yeah, after that you need to be restart the SSHD. So inside SSHD config only we have to do some modification, right? After that we can restart or reload. You can run this command so that whatever changes you have done SSH level, this will be applied immediately. Done. Let's go to login as a user now. Give R. See, asking password now. My password I remember now. Do you want to save password? Not required. Able to connect. Clear everyone now? Uh, Copy. What happened, guys? So silence. Confusing. Guys, just small question. I have given password, right? Who given that password? Who generated the password? Okay, I'm happy now. Yes, you are on the right track. Root user. Okay. See, whenever I can create a user, for example, I'm creating a user add, I'm giving a user jet, user add, okay, spelling wrong here. User add, user jet. Now root is creating password also, PASSWD only. So give password, give one more time, done. You can log in as a user jet also. Let me show you now. This is for external process. External process password is mandatory, right? You are not logging a cloud. But after login a cloud, you can easily connect without password. But if you are going to access from external, definitely password is mandatory. User jet. User jet. It will ask password now. Give the password. No need to save. Clear everyone now? Concept today, concept. What steps to follow to create the new user of AWS EC2 to access explain real time like ticket ascent? No, see, simple. Irfan is going to share Irfan. For example, Irfan is a team leader, but Irfan don't want to give complete the server permissions to colleagues. What Irfan can do, open his server, create a one user and give some permissions. For example, user 1 is there. Okay, user A is there. You don't want to give root permissions, but user A want to work on this server, install some packages, some configurations, run some script and all. So what you can do, you can create a temp directory inside the script. You can run. To run a script, we have to give a permissions. You can give a permissions for the script. Okay. If he want to install something, you want to give a sudo's permission to that person. Not full permission. What he want to install, you can give. Like that. Finding an access. Instead of giving complete root access to him. For example, if Irfan give full permissions, PEM file, if I share a PEM file and IP and all, he can do anything. He can also root like that server, right? That's what the problem. Just these are the users management means permissions. How to check a permissions and all by using, how to add a permissions. These and all will work. Yeah, no problem, Mike. See, we don't have much time to look and Linux is very easy concept, guys. Even I also worried more at the time of I'm trying I'm aspirant time. I'm also worried more how to learn a Linux and all. But later I came to know Linux is very easy than Windows. You can also feel in few days. Wait, if you do any task in Windows, it's too difficult. The bash scripting and all. Yeah, Linux only the easy thing. Oh, you guys are not able to see other questions. my bad. You are missing many questions. No, these are not questions, only just compliments only from others. Not questions, just compliments. No problem. We need a questions, not compliments. uh, so my here, you know, I can say only one thing is you no need to focus on create user and give permissions and all, but focus on Linux commands. Okay, user add. If you want to create a user, one user, which command? If I want to add two users into one group, which command? If I want to give a sudo's permissions, where to go and give? If I want to give a different permissions, where to go and give? Like that, you can focus on. By default, if you observe, whoever already completed Docker, they can understand. By default, Docker can run in the root only. But Docker can run user also. What we can do, create a user and add user into Docker group, so that user also can run Docker commands like that. So finally, I want to show you one command. So I'm in the root, right? Change ownership command. Change ownership will be bypass all the permissions. For example, chmod. Okay, let's say user A is there. User A permissions, if you want to check, user A is part of root group, right? Yeah, ls-l. User A is part of root group. So I'm going to remove complete group permissions, remove complete group level permissions. In this case, chmod 702. Sorry, I have to give file 1, right? So 0 means what here? Group level permissions. Group means here user A, whoever part of root group, root is going to remove permissions from to them. So root removed all the permissions to them, whoever part of root group. Here if you can check, now user A is unable to perform anything now. User A also part of root group, right? You can read a file now, cd temp. Cat file 1. See, permission denied. So again, you can give a permission chmod, also fine, but we have one more powerful command here. The command is change ownership. For example, who created a file ls-l? Who created a file? Root user, root group ID. So created by root. So what root can do? Root can change these permissions. Change ownership. I'm giving user A, permissions user A, and again user A means user ID, group ID. I'm giving a file 1. So whenever you can run this command change ownership, if you can run ls-l, see, now file permissions are completely changed. User A updated in place of root. Now file 1 do anything. Sorry, user A can do anything. Not required chmod. But if you can see ls-l, chmod level group, there is no permissions, right? Group user A is group of root. But now if you can go to user A, cat, see, able to read, able to write, see, able to write, even able to remove also finally. But now, yes, root given permission to user A to perform this, right? So completely ownership changed to user A. Also here root also can do. Root given powers change ownership permission to user A, but still root also can do this. View this file. If you want to check cat. Yeah, so nothing is there, removed, right? See, root change the ownership to user A. That means not that root powers not completely move to user A. Here root plus user A. Root also can do, user A also can do. Like that you need to understand. So simply rm-rf, see file 1 able to delete by root. Yes. Even change ownership, root already done change ownership to user A, still root also having a powers. Root plus user A can do anything irrespective of file except others. So these permissions will be completely bypassed now whenever you can run change ownership command. Clear till here? For user A, see guys, understand the thing. Root is change ownership for this file only, not everything. Understand now? That's what. Yeah, you guys are confusing here. Now user 1 can do anything? No. See, you are focusing only this area. Also focus this area also. See, change ownership for what? File 1 only. Understand? Yeah. So many of you asking now user A can do anything. Why user A can do anything? User A permissions given for only this file 1. This file 1 point of view, user A can do anything. Yes, exactly. Clear till here today class? I know this is little complex in the Linux area. This is a complex one. But this is, if you learn this one, almost you can understand everything in the Linux. So what I can do from my end, I can share the recording. I request to management to share the recording to everyone. But please go to this recording today itself. Otherwise this recording link will be expired in 2 days. So, I mean, whoever registered with recordings, it will be updated permanently as per the recording policies. But yeah, definitely it will already yesterday video also updated, right? So quarter it will be updated. But temporary access we can give 2 days. So whoever, I mean Sunday many of them miss, right, due to some reasons. That's what the intention is. We are sharing this link to everyone for 2 days access. But whoever registered for permanent recordings, they can access anytime. Okay, clear everyone? Now still you are worrying about Linux to run a commands? Still you guys are worrying about Linux? See, as a DevOps engineer, cloud engineer, we can run a commands only. We no need to worry. See, this task, whatever task I have explained, this process will do by Linux administrators, not you. Just understand the purpose only. I have explained this concept. Just we need every time cat, va, touch, mkdir, rm-rf. These commands only we can use regularly. Okay. CMD, where I have used? Sorry. chmod. Okay, I think you may be miss chmod. Second class. I have explained completely chmod, how it will work pin to pin. Go through the second day video. They have explained clearly. Maybe you missed that class. I haven't explained anything now chmod related. Just I ran simply command only. The reason chmod explanation already given in the second video. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience in the Sunday. I think we have a 15 minutes of time for the workshop. So workshop also I close quickly in the one hour only. But it's very little interesting workshop. You can join